Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door, loud like a jag-off at a Pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud, heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud, heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 749 of the Two Dumb Yinzers, just one show away from a monumental mark of 750. That, of course, will be 3/4 of the way to 1,000, Mike. One half of the way to 1,500. And a whole bunch of
there
other
we go.
mathematical things as well.
Yes.
We're not going to worry about that today, though, Mike, because tomorrow is the big one. We're almost there, just one day away from the big 750. We got a lot of things to get on today about, man. I do want to start off by saying, how was your holiday weekend, man?
It was good. Drank way too much Friday night, but after that was pretty good. It was a very good weekend. Plans changed on me yesterday because my kid had a meltdown in the car, so I had to adjust on the fly. But it was a good weekend.
That's just, that's good. I'm glad that you had a good weekend. I'm glad everybody had a good Memorial Day weekend. I hope everybody stayed safe and there was no issues for anybody over this Memorial Day holiday weekend. Glad to see everybody back, Mike. One thing, though, is this. I really get painted out as the son of a bitch on this show, and it seems like I attack you and I do things and and I just wanted to throw this comparison out there. Mike came up to me the other day, and we were talking on Friday. We said we'll be back Monday. We're going to do the show. We will be here doing the show Monday, and everybody else is going to be taking the day off, but not us. We're going to be hard at it. We're going to be working. So it was Sunday night. Mike comes up to me and he says, "Hey, dude, I had an issue with my kid. I had to go down. We got to do this Memorial Day." I'm like, "Hey, man, that's fine. Do your thing. Do your thing, brother. Enjoy yourself. Have a great time." And then I thought, I sat around and thought to myself over the day, and I thought, I'm the son of a bitch. Now, Mike, I asked him a simple question, like, Mike, don't turn my volume down on my microphone.
You mean like this?
I'll turn it down however I want to turn it down. You're not going to tell me not to turn it down. And I'm thinking to myself, and I'm the son of a bitch on this show. I'm the one that's mean, and I'm the one that I'm the buzz joy, the buzzkill, if you will. But I'm like, yeah, sure, man. Go have a good time. Make sure the kids have fun. Frolic and play in the in the springtime weather.
Yeah.
But we did intend to be back yesterday. Of course, the holiday did butt its head, and I'm okay with that. I was okay with being here. I'm also okay with not being here for the holiday. So I just wanted to clear some things. I just wanted to clear the air around here. I'm thinking about it. I thought somehow I'm going to be the bad guy in all this.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I played it out.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I'm sneaky like that.
You are sneaky like that.
Uh-huh.
And I was going to cut the whole. I was going to cut the whole clip out and everything, and just make a whole thing of it. But I thought, we have a whole lot of things to talk about today, Mike. And it's not even. I'm not even exaggerating.
No,
a lot of things went down over the weekend, as far as our Pittsburgh sports go. Over the weekend, Mike, do I want to get into anything before we get started? I did want to go on a little bit about the Gooners on Friday night, but I think I'm going to wait off on that a little bit. Them guys. Derpy was there. Hollywood Derpy made an entrance, made an appearance because the rest of the guys weren't available. So it was a whole thing. The whole entire show was something. There was something about every single moment I'm watching it. So much to talk about, Mike. But I think I'm gonna hold my tongue on this one.
Yeah.
Just so we could get started here. So it is, Mike. Today starts OTAs for the Pittsburgh
Mm-hmm.
Steelers, of course. Today, tomorrow, and Friday do start the OTAs. Still no Aaron Rodgers. We're still playing Where's Waldo, basically. I think somebody's seen him in the strip. Somebody's seen him in the strip district coming out of a hotel over the weekend, which sounds exactly like where Aaron Rodgers would be. But I don't know. Who knows, Mike? But all different kind of. I mean, where is he? Is he on the incline? Is he in the strip district? Is he on the north side? It's like, where's fucking Waldo with this guy? I'm over him. Like I said, if he comes on this team and I'm going to support it and do all the things you got to do because it's my team and I want to win.
Yeah.
But I am so over Aaron Rodgers. I just want it to go away. I almost would rather not do it because, I mean, again, he's taking us around. He's pulling us around by our balls. Not a big fan of that. The old Pittsburgh, here's what's going on. I figured it all out. We are so desperate. We are so desperate for a nice run with this football team. We as fans are willing to do whatever it takes. Which I'm not against that.
Yeah.
As long as that doesn't mean sit around and wait sit on your hands for a 42-year-old quarterback for months and months and months on end. As you go through draft time, as you go through OTAs, and now it's starting to really it's getting on my nerves. It does not feel like Pittsburgh Steelers. Maybe we should get back to some of the Pittsburgh Steelers ways, Mike, because this wouldn't have happened in the olden days. We would have told Aaron Rodgers to piss off. We would have did what we did and tried to make the best of it. And to be honest, we were one of the best at doing just that because, again, for the past 53 years, we've been pretty damn successful in this league. So, again, sitting around waiting for this this has been, I think, is a bit crazy, Mike. We have a full quarterback room. You have a rookie quarterback. You have a quarterback that a lot of people from this team had a lot of faith in.
Yeah.
Mike, 3 games, they told a story of the guy's career, apparently. And we have a third string quarterback. So I'm over it. But again, there was still stuff that came out over the weekend. There was still stuff that came out of the snake's mouth over the weekend. There was still sightings. It's like Bigfoot with this guy over the weekend. We do have a lot of stuff to get into today, Mike. I'm going to blow through some of the stuff that is not the Steelers stuff as people are coming in. I do want to say good morning and welcome to everybody that is here this morning so far. Grab a seat, hang out. We have a lot to go over today. Keller Haas, I do want to say good morning to you. Great seeing you on the board. And Mark Malone, my man, haven't seen you for a few days. Hope everybody had a great Memorial Day weekend. Glad to see everybody back. Mike, this Pirates team, I'm not going to put my bag on because there's just so much to talk about. And if I sit with a bag on my head for this,
you're gonna sweat profusely.
You're just going to see me fall forward on my desk here. Tortilla, good morning to you, sir. Great to see you on board as well. I hope everybody had a safe weekend. My Pirates did. They had something going for them, and it was called O'Neal Cruz.
Yeah.
Starting on Friday night with that 4-game set against the Brewers. Cruz comes out and hits 2 home runs on Skeens Day. Mike, the Pirates managed to get 6 runs in a 6-5 win over the Brewers on Friday night. They followed that up with a 2-1 win on Saturday night, a game where Mitch Keller faced off against Quinn Priester, the former Pirate that we let go last year. Cruz with a go-ahead game-winning triple late in the game. Again, O'Neal Cruz. Mike, yesterday the Pirates finally dropped one in the series. They finished at a tie. It was 2-2 the series through the weekend with the Brewers. Cruz didn't hit any home runs, Mike, in the Sunday game, but he did have the hardest hit since the StatCast was invented.
Yeah.
And applied back in 2015. O'Neal Cruz, 122 and a half miles an hour. The hardest hit baseball by a major league hitter, Mike, since the StatCast and this machine, whatever it is, started in 2015, 10 years ago. So O'Neal Cruz, a pretty big weekend, Mike. He might be their lone all-star.
Yeah, he'll be the lone all-star. The way the offense is dicking around Paul Skeens, they wasted another great start by him. Yeah, so it's going to be O'Neal Cruz, and he is crushing the ball. He broke his own record again. He has the top 2 hardest hit balls ever. He has some of the fastest shortstop to first base throws of all times too. Dude's an alien. And it's looking like this year he's finally put everything together. He's still going to have some bonehead plays here and there, but he's doing more than enough to make up for him.
Yeah, Mike. I mean, his defense is sickly. That's the only problem. It's almost turning into the
Yeah.
same situation that we had with Pedro Alvarez, where he just got
Yeah.
to the point where he couldn't throw the ball from third base to first base accurately anymore.
Yeah.
They just stuck him at first base, figuring, hey, the guy's a Major League
Yeah.
Baseball player. He should be able to catch. I'm just wondering if that's where it's going with O'Neal Cruz. Let's hope that it's not this early in his young career,
I don't
Mike.
think so. Yeah,
But,
I think he's going to be the center fielder of the future. Like, dude, he already has 11 home runs this year. He had 21 all of last year.
Oh, he's killing it with the stolen bases. I mean, everything.
Yeah, he's just, if he can get that batting average and the on base percentage up, my God, this guy, a dude who can hit for power, can steal bases. We literally have not seen someone like this in a Pirate uniform since Barry fucking Bonds.
Yeah, no, it's really good what he has going on again, Mike. If he continues to keep it up, which he should in fact be able to continue because he's a good ball player.
Yeah,
and everything that you were hoping to see, Mike, was the things that we are starting to see. So hopefully things are picking up for him. The team, on the other hand, Mike, they fall back to their old ways yesterday as they head over to Arizona to take on the Diamondbacks for a 3-game series. Mike, the team loses 5-0. Another shutout. I had it in my notes. I don't know what I did with it, Mike, but I don't know how many games it is.
9.
9. They've been shut out 9 times in the first 2 months of baseball. That's they're on pace for 27, almost 30 times being shut out, Mike. It's the Pirates. They're back, and it's classic Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
and they get a chance to do it again today. Believe it or not, yes, the Pirates get a chance to lose again. Let's be fair. Mike Burrow back on the hill. He's 0-1 with a 7.20 ERA, 3 strikeouts. Mike getting his first pitch or his first start last week. He's at it against Corbin Burns this week, who comes in with a 3-2 record of 2.73 and 51 strikeouts on the season. Mike, that game is tonight at 9:40. The Pirates are 19-36. The Diamondbacks are 27-27, who were able to snap a 5-game losing streak on their own, Mike, by beating the Pittsburgh Pirates yesterday. Tonight, game 2 out of 3.
Dude, and again, we've won. We won a series. We won 2 games back to back. We did that twice in the past couple of days, but can we actually get a proper win streak going? Can we win more than one series here or there? It's pathetic, man. And where's Big Stacks at? Brian Reynolds.
Oh, Mike, come on. Big Stacks is the moneymaker. What are you talking about?
He is the Kirk Cousins of the Pittsburgh Pirates. He's finding a way to turn the owner's money into his money without doing a whole hell of a lot. I respect the hustle from Big Stacks Brian Reynolds. Bat 208 making $100 million a year. It's good work if you can get it, my friend.
Yeah, good. It's a good gig.
It's a good deal, man. Zero pressure whatsoever.
Yeah, you get paid the big money. There's no pressure. I mean, he's on a contract for how long, and this isn't going to change. So good for him. He found the loophole.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of us could find those kind of loopholes, Mike.
Exactly. It is players like him that Bob Nutting doesn't like to spend money. Then he finally does, and then they turn out to suck.
Right.
That's just it'll be another thing for him to go, why should I give guys money? This is what happens when I give them money. They turn to shit.
They did, Mike. They did, in fact. They brought up Braxton Ashcraft. He did get his debut start yesterday in the 5-0 loss. He didn't actually pitch bad, Mike. It was actually kind of a shining point for the weekend. But the Pirates again back at it tonight. They take their 19-36 record into Arizona to try to salvage something out of this series, Mike. That game again tonight at 9:40. A lot of wins this weekend did come to the Pittsburgh area by way of our some pro teams, Mike. The Pittsburgh Passion, of course, our women's football team here in Pittsburgh. They go down in a big showdown to D.C. For a big game. There was a big game that's probably going to decide a division. The Pittsburgh Passion walk away, Mike, in this big. It was probably the closest game of the for a while for the Passion. They win. Pittsburgh wins 56-27. 56-27.
That is a close game for them.
And the thing is, I watched it. This was not a bad DC team. It was actually a pretty good DC team. They had a couple offensive plays that we did struggle to stop throughout the course of the game. But the fact of the matter is the Pittsburgh Passion, they go 3-0 to start the season, like 56-27 over the DC Divas. Divas, they come home next weekend to start their home series. 3 games in a row to finish out the season. Tampa Bay this Saturday at 6 o'clock. then DC, the rematch in 2 weeks, and then the Cincinnati Cougars, which I think is a pretty cool
Ooh,
name for a
yeah.
women's football team,
Rawr.
the Cougars, right?
That's what I'm talking about.
But Mike, in fact, the fact is they are all home games, so that should certainly help the passion out moving forward. And then they're already off to a great start, Mike. Listen, Pittsburgh is a really good team, and I would be very surprised if this team doesn't go all the way in women's football this year. That was probably the best team we're going to face. There's only one other team that's still undefeated in WFA that I've seen. It was the St. Louis team that we don't face. They're not even in our conference. So
Yeah.
right now it's looking like the Passion and nobody else. So they'll be back at it, Mike, this weekend, taking on the team they opened up against down in Tampa Bay with a pretty impressive win. That'll be this weekend at home at Slippery Rock College. If you want to make the trek out there to watch the Passion, support them. It's a lot of fun. These girls can play football.
They can too. They're balling out, and like you said, if Makai can stay healthy this year,
She's the deal maker. She's a deal breaker, bro. With her, it's not the same team. Let's get caught up on some of these messages. I do want to get caught up. It says Memorial Day weekend, everybody. If you wonder why we weren't here yesterday, just refer back to the very beginning of the show. I have a full explanation on what happened.
It's all my fault.
And we won't waste any time talking about it. Let's go ahead.
We're just going to bring it up every minute we can.
Mark Malone, come on, the front office. And Rogers, hold on, I just have something popping up on my computer. I'm going to move it right there. All right. Mark Malone says, come on, the front office and Rogers both knew exactly when and if Rogers will be reporting. If you think otherwise, well, I have a bridge in New York for sale. Tortilla says, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it ain't broke, break it and get paid to fix it. All right, I see what you're saying.
Hell yeah.
Good morning to Jen. Jen on the board. Always great seeing you. Mark, Tortilla, everybody. Finchy, what's up, bro? Mark Malone says, I wonder how fast the balls that McGuire and Bonds hit were.
1 million miles an hour.
And then Jen says, my 2-year-old grandson smashed a baseball this weekend. Holy shit, I can't wait to see him play T-ball soon. These kids are so advanced. They really are, and they're so smart. The things these kids know that I didn't know. It's unbelievable. I can't think of what it was. But something happened over the weekend where I had that. I thought, geez, oh man.
And these kids too, with whatever they do, they go and watch tutorial videos.
Right. That's what we didn't have.
Like shit, we didn't have.
That's the advantage.
Maybe like in baseball, you stayed up and watched the Fred McGriff video or the Tom Amansky video. You watched a couple.
But Mike, you had to have money when we were kids to do that. All the kids didn't have access to these Fred McGriff videos, and they were $29.95, which, you know what, back in our day was a lot of money.
Yeah.
If you told your mom you seen something on TV that you wanted for $30, good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck with that. Let's move forward though, Mike. The two soccer teams both victorious this weekend. Again, it was a good theme this weekend in Pittsburgh. The winning theme, I liked it a lot. The Riveters in their second game only beat Flower City 3-2, Mike. They next will play the Cleveland Forest. Again, that's who they kicked off against in their inaugural game. That game is actually today. They play the Cleveland Forest today, Mike, just a couple days after the Flower City win. And the guys, the Pittsburgh River Hounds, they win 1-0 over Rhode Island, and they get a playback game, Mike, but that's on Saturday, where Rhode Island will come here to Pittsburgh down at the Highmark Stadium to take on our Hounds. That game's at 7:00 p.m. on Saturday.
Let's go Hounds.
The UFL, Mike, UFL Week 9. If the playoffs started today, it would be DC versus St. Louis in the XFL conference, and it would be Birmingham versus Michigan in the UFL conference. If the series started today, or if the playoffs started today, that would in fact be the playoffs, Mike. But we do have a week to go. We have week 10 in the UFL till we start till the playoffs, and in some American football playoffs. Mike, it looked a little bit like this over the weekend. St. Louis did win 39-13 over San Antonio on Friday night. That improves St. Louis to 7-2 and drops the Brahma to 1-8. On Saturday, Arlington beats Memphis 30-12. Birmingham beats Michigan 26-22, which would be the playoff game from that conference if, in fact, the playoff started today. Birmingham and Michigan both sitting at 6-3. And Sunday, Mike, in the UFL, one other game, the DC Defenders, they fall just slightly to the Houston Roughnecks, Mike, 24-21. DC drops to 6-3 overall. But again, like I said, if the playoffs started today, DC would be taking on St. Louis. So next week, week 10 is going to be the end of it. And then after that, we go with the 4-team playoffs. And after that, it's the championship. So this time next month, guys, UFL is done. The countdown for the NFL is on. We'll continue waiting patiently until it gets here. Again, OTAs start today.
Dude, 100 days until the NFL kicks off. But back to the UFL real quick.
Yeah.
There's some unfair shit happening to my DC Defenders. If they would happen to come out on top on their division and them in Seattle play or St. Louis play, no matter what, the game is being played in St. Louis.
Yes.
Which is some BS. We are getting screwed over in DC. They're just afraid of the beer snake, is what it is.
Well, they decided this a while back, and it was before.
Yeah, I know. I know. But
St. Louis is the only city that could draw a crowd. I don't understand it, and I think Memphis had like 19 people or something like that.
Yeah,
they were making comments on
this.
Team.
Like St. Louis, you can tell they miss their
they want a football team bad.
They miss them so bad.
Also, Caitlin Clark, she is out for 2 weeks as she strains her left quad in a loss, to a 2-point loss to the Liberty from New York over the weekend. Liberty win 90-88, dropping the Fever to 2-2 overall. Clark managed to still score 18 points, have 10 assists, and 5 rebounds, but she is being projected to be missing two weeks of the WNBA. You might as well shut it down.
Right?
Because I don't know. I'm not going to lie. I don't know. Again, she's a draw. She's a draw. You don't have her.
Like, who else is especially on that Fever team, who are you going to watch?
All right. Let's see, Mike, out of the NBA and the NHL, both in game 4, both tonight. The Pacers have a 2-1 lead over the Knicks. That game 4 is tonight. In the NHL, the Oilers have a 2-1 game over the Stars. Their game 4 is also tonight at 8 o'clock, Mike. The two teams that are off tonight are OKC and Minnesota. In the NBA, OKC is up 3-1 in that series. And in the NHL, Florida and Carolina. Florida's up 3-1. So pretty much identical in both leagues. Everything that's going on as far as the games, the series, everything from top to bottom, very similar. Again, the Knicks, Pacers, the Thunder, and the Timberwolves in the NBA, and the Dallas Stars, Edmonton Oilers, Florida Panthers, and Carolina Hurricanes in the NHL. So all that is all going on throughout the week, Mike. Big games tonight, both game 4 in both leagues tonight at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, in Carolina, with that win, improves to 1-14 in Eastern Conference Finals.
That is the first win they've ever had in a game, not a series, but a game in the NHL, in the conference.
Yeah, the conference finals. That is insane. That's a level of futility. I don't even think the Browns are looking at them like, come on, dog.
Yeah.
Let's get our
Pirates are like, get a load of these guys.
Exactly. No, hey, we won that wild card game.
Right. With the Pirates, the Pirates had one more playoff win.
They went further than the Buckets, but hey, we didn't embarrass ourselves.
And finally, Mike, in hockey, Team USA wins it all.
USA.
No Sidney Crosby, no Marc-Andre Fleury. Team USA beats Switzerland in overtime 1-0 to win the IIHF tournament championship for the first time in over 90 years. Mike, congratulations to Team USA. You know what? If Crosby and the gang ain't doing it up in the north above the border, I'm okay with Team USA kicking ass and bringing home the gold.
Yeah, exactly. Too. Like I said, when it comes to the international competition in hockey, I don't like. They still have a bad taste in my mouth from what they did over in Japan when they lost in this trash and everything. So I root for Canada. But Sid was out. I'm rooting for the good old US of A. So we brought home the championship, boys.
USA, baby.
USA.
All the way.
Especially on Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, come on.
Like, how can you not root for them?
And also, Mike, from Penn State former football player Julian Fleming, seriously injured and girlfriend killed in an ATV accident. Terrible news, Mike, for Penn State.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, is this fake? And tragically, it was not.
Yeah, terrible to hear that.
Yeah,
I hate hearing it.
Like, hit a deer on an ATV is what I heard. That's
What's the chances?
Right?
I've probably seen about 6 deer in my whole life.
Yeah.
It's a chance you hit a deer and that's how you die. Ah, man, it sucks.
Yeah, it sucks.
So
they're
there
young
you go.
Just out of college too and shit. Ugh.
Yeah, you hate seeing. Remember it happened a couple years ago with the Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter.
Somebody dying out very, very early before he even got drafted, partially due to what was going on around him. I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but you hate to see it, man. It's always the chick, the girlfriend. It's always
that. It is too, man. It is.
The football player survives. Mike, let's get into some football talk. Yes, it is, guys. It's OTAs today, tomorrow, and Friday. Next week, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. The fact that Aaron Rodgers is not here is my turning point. And I didn't think he was going to be. And I made it abundantly clear for weeks.
Yeah.
But if he shows up, let me get a couple of these messages real quick, Mike, before we do move on here. Richard, good morning. Good morning to you, sir. Great seeing you on the board. I hope everybody had a great holiday weekend. Hope a lot of people had that extra day off, was able to recoup. Corey says, what up, guys? What's up, bro? It's great seeing you, my man, Corey. Corey says, so I'm listening to the AR episode of Joe Rogan podcast, and I do like him as a person. He's a very logical person when it comes to world issues. Just my opinion. I do want to say good morning to Kenny on the board. Welcome as well. And also Tortilla has this to say. Yeah, a lot of the AR hate is forced. Not all of it, but most of it is just media BS to get. Absolutely. Boy, this isn't a good example of what it's going to be like when this guy is here. How much about this football team did you learn over the past couple months? With the exception of the draft. How much a scoop have we got about anybody else on this team besides Aaron Rodgers? Do you think that's going to change when he actually gets here? This is the theme, guys. If he comes here, it's going to be the Aaron Rodgers year. This ain't your Pittsburgh Steelers. It's going to happen. It's going to go away eventually. And we're going to look back at it and say, what the fuck was that? Jen says, in Wisconsin, it's so common to hit deer. Also, a black bear. One time, the bear got up and attacked the vehicle.
Jesus.
But if you think that this is about the Pittsburgh Steelers at all, if you think that the coverage all season is going to be about your Steelers, sure, it's going to be nice. Your team's going to be. But let me ask you this: what if he's not doing well, and all the Steeler talk is about how we're not playing good football, and Aaron Rodgers? Oh, okay, we wanted to win and get better, but we're not. We're still losing, and we have the distress. So again, guys, him not being there at OTAs today, I think is kind of again. Even if you have something agreed on, Mike, even if when he was in town for those 3 days or whatever it was, that Friday or whatever it was, either let us know, because for one, what are you gaining by the fans not knowing? And if you don't have an absolute answer at OTAs, I think that's a bit of an issue, because Aaron's going to do what Aaron's going to do. And if that don't scare you as a Steeler fan, from the Venom puts out this weekend, the Venom had heard ramblings, if you will, that Aaron Rodgers wants to call his own plays. This is what the Venom from Pittsburgh put out over the weekend. This is the same Venom that told us that Aaron Rodgers was going to be here 2 weeks ago. So I won't mention him, but I'm just going to throw that out there. The Venom says that there's rumblings that Aaron Rodgers wants to call his own plays. Okay, so if that's the case, and you know this, and you didn't know that he was not going to be there the day that you said he was going to be there, why the hell am I going to listen to you? Mike, you hit it on the head. This is for numbers. This is for views. This is for ratings. And you think that's going to change when Aaron Rodgers is here, if that is the case? I'm telling you, Mike, this is going to get annoying really fast. And there's going to be the people that like the ride. I mean, you're along for the ride because you want to see people get worked up. And I get that. We do a show.
Yeah.
But, guys, if you honestly think that this is going to be a championship situation, I think we're fooling ourselves here. Why not get your rookie some action? Why not, he might be your Big Ben Roethlisberger. Will Howard, Mike. I mean, that's something a lot of people aren't talking about. Let's just say, excuse me. Let's just say he is the future. Aaron Rodgers ain't the future. We know that. The best Aaron Rodgers could be is a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to be a good Band-Aid. I think it's going to be a stinky, wet, nasty Band-Aid that by the end of the season, we're all going to be ready to get this guy out of town. As other people that doesn't come here and live up to their standards as a Steeler. And again, Mike, I still don't trust the guy. All these things that we're seeing from him tells me that if he gets booed maybe a couple times, throws a couple interceptions in a big game, fans turn on him, he might turn to retirement a little earlier than one would think. Mike, again, everything about this stinks. Everything. There's nothing about this situation that don't stink. To get a guy to come in and maybe put up a few more yards and a couple more touchdowns than we've had. This is how desperate we in Pittsburgh are. Is we will do anything. We will stoop to levels we never stooped to as Steeler fans because we are so desperate because we haven't won a playoff game in 10 years, 8 years. Haven't played well in 15 years. I get it. I really do. But is Aaron Rodgers only going to add to the pile of shit that we have here? Or is he going to come and be the savior? And maybe that's what it is. Maybe you just want the guy to come and do a little bit better than what we had and hope for the best. But again, Mike, why not? Why not utilize your rookie? Why not utilize the guy that won 3 games when you needed 3 games won? You have a Skylar Thompson as well. You have a quarterback room.
Yeah, they do. And all you have to do is, and I think they even have an undrafted rookie free agent that they signed as the quarterback. There's the 4 quarterbacks that everyone in the media is like, oh, they always go with 4. They always go with 4. Well, they got 4. Run with those 4 and see what happens. If you unless you think Aaron Rodgers can get you over that hump and then you can use all your draft capital, get your young guy, because you're projecting Will Howard as a project. Some of these other guys coming out next year, you're thinking they're more polished. You have a nice little 1-2 there. You got Mason Rudolph, nice 3. Then you worry about your 4th quarterback. Then, unless that's their vision, is just to see if they can get a last hurrah out of Aaron Rodgers, Cam Hayward, T.J. Watt type thing, while getting in some of these younger guys in, like, rotating in, so you're more rotating in, or, more or less making Caleb Johnson, hopefully that starter by the end of the year, seeing what you got in your other receivers. Unless that's their plan, okay, run with it. But it's kind of the antithesis of what they've been talking about in building this team, and building a team, Like, getting these mercenary quarterbacks is really not building the team, especially when you have a bridge quarterback on your team. Just run with Mason Rudolph. He is your bridge quarterback.
He's not the worst bridge
he's
quarterback
not,
ever. No. He's been a part of this team for a while.
He's a whole hell of a lot better than what we suffered through before we got Tommy Maddox and Big Ben. He might even be like a Tommy Maddox type quarterback. That might be his ceiling. When you lose some games, okay, right, yeah, run with them and see what happens. You know you're going to win at least 9 to 8 games a year because that's what you fucking do every year.
This guy's Hollywood. He's Hollywood. And this is one thing that Pittsburgh, this is a Dallas Cowboy kind of thing. These are Hollywood. And let me give you an example. People say, well, he went to the Jets. Well, the Jets is way more prepared for drama from their media than we are. Believe me. The New York media trumps what we do here in Pittsburgh by a lot. Believe me. So he goes up there, causes a bunch of trouble in that media, gets their head coach fired. This is not Pittsburgh Steel. Let's focus on doing it right, getting back to the way things should be. And again, I hope this is the group of guys that can get it done. I'm talking about the office, the front end, the Collins, the Tomlins, and the other guy, Weedle. I hope that they're able to get this done. People are arguing my quarterback issues are what hold Con from being a top 10 GM. Just think if this guy could put a good quarterback out on the field, people would be singing the praises of Omar Khan, Mike. And again, I'm hoping it's a long-term plan for him, and it's something that he has in the works.
Yeah.
But again, this Aaron Rodgers thing, it seems very, very un-Pittsburgh-like to me. Maybe the new generation of Steeler fans love it, but let's be honest. This doesn't get most teams anywhere.
No.
At this point, like I said, when Peyton Manning finished up and went to Denver, it was a different story. And he still went on and got his ass beaten in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
It wasn't pretty with him.
And he wasn't 42 years old. And there was so many, again, Mike, this it just seems out of sorts to me. OTAs were today. If he would have showed up by today, I would have came out singing a different tune this morning. I can't. I'm out on Aaron Rodgers. If he comes and he's my quarterback, what am I going to do? Of course, I'm going to support the team. I want to see him win. But right now, not being here by OTAs, it should be pissing people off in Pittsburgh.
He's not under contract, so it doesn't make
but
me
Mike,
as mad. But
don't you want to be prepared? Don't you want everybody to know one another? Don't you want to have guys have a cohesiveness with this guy? Otherwise, you're just making this season more of a mess. Let the guy, he should be here. He should be here talking to people, making friends. I don't want him just to come in on game day, throw some interceptions, go home. This has disaster written all over it.
Thing is, though, we're still going to sign players after OTAs, so
and I understand it, but that's totally like, you understand that's not similar to what we're talking about, though. If it's your quarterback,
yeah,
and it is,
yeah.
So that's all.
But right now, if you run it through with Mason, let him lead in the OTAs and see how it comes after, how he handles himself after it. Then if you're impressed with the way he ran as the number one quarterback, you move on from Rodgers.
And I don't want a guy that's been sitting around for 10 months, a year. I want a guy that I'm confident in. I used to be able to throw a football really far, Mike, but if I come out of nowhere and go to throw a football, I'm not going to do very well. I mean, I'm going to be able to chuck it, but
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I at least want the guy to be involved in some capacity to otherwise you might as well just pick up anybody at this point. People are hoping, people are putting a lot of hope on this guy, and I just don't see it, Mike, especially at this point, especially after two not great seasons in New York. One year he did put up some numbers. The other year he was injured on the very first play. The year that he put up numbers, he got 5 wins. I'm not sold on this. Maybe if you want to play the angle, he's going to get your coach fired. Maybe people in Pittsburgh, maybe that's what they're pulling for. But let's get to back to some of the messages here, Mike. People were putting up messages, and I'm seeing them move. Let's jump back on.
It's a flying today.
Hey, you ain't kidding. I'm gonna go right here. Corey says, I think he generated all the hate after his comments of the jab in 2020. Ever since, and that's why I hate the mixture of politics and football. Football especially. Other sports, whatever. Stay out of my football. Ever since then, he's had bad juju follow him and ultimately distracts him from his career. Just character bashes him. Age isn't helping either, Corey says. Richard says there would not be as much hate toward Aaron Rodgers if he would have signed before the draft, then showed up at the OTAs. He all in to show he's all in.
Exactly.
And Richard just wants to see what this team's made of, and I can't say that I disagree with that. Tortilla. I mean, there's still too many questions at this time of year for me. We should have some things cleared up, and again, maybe they do. And if they do, why the big secret? Tell us. Aren't we the ones that come to see? Aren't we the ones that support you? Aren't we the ones that buy your merchandise? What's the secret? What's the big secret? We're in the same category as every other fan in the whole entire country that isn't Steeler fans. We're just sitting here waiting to hear. I don't know. It doesn't seem like a guy that I like on our Steelers team. Let me go. Let me find Corey. Corey says, I know Tom Brady's the golden child, but Rodgers was a close second. He does it to himself, though. Tortilla follows it up by saying all he has to do is talk when he's supposed to and not talk when his time is not supposed. Yeah, I mean, that's not going to be Aaron. He's going to come here. It's going to be the Aaron show. So I hope you love Aaron Rodgers if you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. This season will not be about your Pittsburgh Steelers.
We know who loves Aaron Rodgers. That's Jen.
Jen right here on the board. She says we do not need drama. Rodgers drama. And this is coming straight from Wisconsin, where the great Aaron Rodgers played his career. I mean, she's seen it firsthand, and she knows that we don't need this drama. Mark Malone says he's way better than Bustin Fields and Midget. I agree. Listen, Midget is past his career. He is a midget. And Bustin Fields, he's apparently he's struggling up in New York, having some tough practices, and there's a lot of question marks being raised around the Jets team right now because of these small sample size exhibitions we're seeing by Justin Fields. But that's the story, guys. Not going so well in New York. We'll see them on week 1. Mark follows that up by saying, the new generation have estrogen levels rivaling that of menstruating women. They're the only ones causing any drama. Tortilla says this season will end up on an ayahuasca trip, but more than likely, more than bloody likely. Yinzer Joe, my man, what's up, brother? He says the hate for Aaron Rodgers because he hasn't signed or been committed is unreal. If any of you had any personal problems, wouldn't you want to take? Is this? This has been months, 100 days. Let me think. February was the Super Bowl. March, April, May. I think it's been right around 100 days. Yes, if I had personal issues, I would want to take care of them, and I would. And I guarantee you, within 100 days, I would be able to give you an answer of what I want to do as far as my job goes. I'm just saying, the guy's not retarded. I don't think he is. Maybe he has things going on, but who doesn't? Who doesn't? Everybody has something going on. Everybody knows somebody who's dying. Everybody has people in life that's going through hardship. But this guy, it gets this. Well, we won't wait for Aaron for 100, at least 100 days, because I think we're right around 100 now from the end of the season. It's kind of a shitty situation. That's all. It's just shitty. It's not making Aaron look that great. Corey says the only thing that I think that's good if he comes here is he will call people out if they're a problem. So if Tomlin isn't putting enough effort to succeed or in preparation, then we will know it. I think we already know it, but I guess all right. Let's let Aaron come and say it. I mean, if that's what we want, if that's what we want accomplished, I don't know. I kind of want to win. I kind of want things to get better as a team, but you are kind of addressing that as well. So that's fair. Mark did say I tried to tell the field's worshipers. For what it was, he didn't play great, but he didn't have many turnovers. He was 4-2 at the end of a 6-game run. He started out the season pretty good, and he wasn't the answer. But yeah, he was Fields, and again, he's not doing too great in New York. So maybe he's one of them QBs that went to the Jets to die. Jen says, if I had a personal issue, I wouldn't be at a concert squirting a water gun at a rapper on say, yeah, he was at a concert over the weekend. He must be so down on his luck that he can't do nothing besides stare. Oh, wait a minute. He was at a concert shooting a water gun at rappers. And believe me, that's not the only thing this guy's doing. He's pulling shit. The guy's a bullshitter. Let's get back to it. Yeah, Mike Wilbon. You know Mike Wilbon?
Yeah.
Black guy from PTI. He says Mike Wilbon believes that the Steelers shouldn't let Aaron Rodgers anywhere near their building. So again, when I'm listening to outside sources, I wonder what's their agenda. You know what I mean? I mean, yes, this is
engagement.
This is the attention grabber, of course. Everyone wants to know. But I don't know if do we want to be a part of that? Because again, it's not they don't want to know about the Steelers, and they're not going to want to know about your Steelers, and they're not going to care about your Steelers. Matter of fact, they're going to celebrate when your Steelers lose.
They do already.
Oh, no two ways about it. But
Yeah.
again, Mike, I mean, I'm still trying to find a silver lining of bringing Aaron Rodgers. Maybe a few more touchdowns, maybe a few more yards. It's gonna affect him positively. But you as a fan, you at the end of the season will still be hungry for more and more because we haven't won a playoff game in 8 years and we haven't played good or had a nice run in 15. Things got to change, and I just don't know if Aaron a whole nother year, guys. That's all I'm saying. Is that going to retard the process for the young kid? Aaron Rodgers comes and has a season, and then we have to start over next year. Maybe then we'll let Will Howard play. Again, I don't know how this affects the Steelers so greatly that people just they love the idea, and I'm listen. If that's your opinion, I respect that. I really do. I'm just having a hard time seeing the silver lining in all of this. Yinzer Joe says, and there is still absolutely nothing going on till OTAs, which he could still be here for. And even if he isn't, I don't think it'll take a Pro Bowl, Super Bowl winner to adjust. Mark Malone says, yeah, one loss away from 500. That's like a D minus. I did see him like somewhere. It was a matter of fact, I know what it was. It was a ChatGPT prediction of every team's record this year. It actually had the Steelers at a 10-7.
Huh.
Which is crazy.
That's kind of where I had it at one point, 10-7. I think Mark Malone has 12-5.
Yeah, Mark Malone has us in the Super Bowl. He has us winning 7 this year.
I like it. I like it.
You know what? I would rather get behind that than get behind this. We don't want a head case. We want to get rid of all these receivers, all these head cases. Why do we want a head case back behind the center, guys? Of all places, maybe a linebacker tear somebody's head off. That's a good head case to bring in. We just realized recently we don't like receivers, Mike, that are head cases. I don't understand why people want the quarterback that's a head case as well. Tortilla Jackson says 100 gorillas versus Aaron Rodgers with the water guns. You know what? I missed it. I don't know what that was all about. I missed. I heard about it. I didn't hear much about it, but I heard that Aaron Rodgers was at a concert. So Corey Beaver says better draft placement at worst, playoff run at best, but no chip. I think we could all agree.
I got my money on the gorillas.
What do you want this season to do, though? What kind of season do you want this to be? Is the question. Maybe play a little bit better, but not get better, or play a little worse, but get better. Teach the guys to go out there and lose. Teach the guys, they got to, again, maybe come out at the end of a tough situation. I always forget the saying, tough times create strong men, whatever. You heard that's kind of what I feel that we have to do. I think that this should be an internal fix. I don't think, and if it's an external fix, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is the guy. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Mike, but other names being thrown around over the weekend as well. Kirk Cousins and Carson Wentz.
God no.
Please, no. Stop saying those names. Nobody wants them.
Yeah.
Whether you want Aaron Rodgers or you don't, nobody wants Carson Wentz. Nobody wants Kirk Cousins. Mike.
No one wants Carson Wentz. No one wants Kirk Cousins. Out of those three, give me Aaron Rodgers. I saw the film last year. He can still play.
So could Kirk Cousins. He put up better numbers, actually.
Oh, Kirk Cousins, he was terrible to watch.
That's what I'm saying.
He was terrible to watch last year.
Like, he made more money than Aaron Rodgers. Why would you want this guy? Why would you want the guy that has better? The guy, I mean, for what it is, he's going to be padding individual stats. You might as well go Kirk Cousins.
I'm just not a big Kirk Cousins guy. Ugh.
Neither am I.
If we're going to go Kirk Cousins, I'd rather go Mason Rudolph.
That's the point. That is my point exactly. Jen wants to see the Aaron Rodgers versus 100 gorillas. Yeah, I would love to see that. 100 gorillas tearing his ass, pulling his stupid lemur eyes out of his head.
Oh my God, when you said that the other day when we were talking off air, like his lemur eyes.
He does.
He looks like King Julian, man.
He has the same lemur eyes as the who's the other idiot they had over there? Ryan Braun. They had the same lemur eyes. It's the same person. Tortilla says, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a Rodgers. Obviously referring to Dodgeball, great movie. Corey says, imagine Will Howard as the guy next season being mentored by Big Ben and on the job training with Rodgers. That's a successful plan if I've ever seen one. That's providing Aaron Rodgers wants to be a teacher. Doesn't seem like Aaron Rodgers is on board to do much of what he needs to do. Aaron Rodgers is going to do what Aaron Rodgers is going to do.
Why is everyone talking like Will Howard's going to be the next Big Ben?
This was actually the very first day I've ever said it.
Not you, but no, I've heard it since he's been drafted and everything. And if that was the case, teams would have snagged him up in the top 10. If he was going to be the next Big Ben, he's going to be the next Big Ben. You're going to snag him. You're snagging him in the top 10 if he has that potential.
I mean, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, greats are never snagged in the top 3. Come on. And sometimes they drop, Mike.
Yeah, sometimes they drop. But if you already had that, evaluation on the guy as a front office, you're not letting him get out of the first round. So, let's pump the brakes on him a bit.
So you're implying, Mike, that all these quarterbacks who were drafted this year, none of them is going to be a success because they were all drafted?
No, but
with the exception of Cam, of course.
When you start talking about 5th, 6th rounders as being Yep, he's going to be the next Big Ben, or he's going to be the
Right.
next Eli Manning. So let's pump the brakes and let him develop and see some NFL action before
Absolutely.
we
That's all
go
we
that
Mike, that's
route.
all I want to see.
That's
I just want
but,
I want to see that, but they're not
but there's a
going to
lot.
give us the opportunity to even see that if they bring in Aaron Rodgers.
He wasn't even going to play this year anyway. For the
We
most
don't
part,
know. Like
he
we
was going to
don't
be
Mike,
a a number 3 backup here.
that's I mean, right now, of course, we haven't even played a single preseason game. We're in OTAs. I mean, they haven't had a practice snap besides for a couple weeks ago. And I get what you're saying. I'm not arguing.
Yeah.
I agree with what you're saying, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
I just want to see him play. If Aaron Rodgers comes to town, good luck's even seeing the rookie play. And again, this might be our guy. That we don't know. We need answers, and right now, the only answers that we're going to get is Aaron Rodgers. Again, it's going to be the Aaron Rodgers show. If you're cool with it, that's fine. It's just going to be a very different kind of Pittsburgh Steelers season. I hope everybody's ready for that.
It's going to be Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins. Just looking at the salary, like Mason Rudolph.
You really think they're going to bring in one of these guys? I mean,
Mason Rudolph making $2.5 million. That's backup money. Will Howard drafted in the 6th. That's 6th round guy. Skylar Thompson, number 3.
How's that changed over the past 5 years? Though?
And then if you go out and get another quarterback, he's probably going to end up being your penciled in as your starter. I'm just going by looking at salary. Look at like Mason Rudolph even saying he's like, I know what I'm making. If they end up bringing someone else in, I'm just going to look at their salary to know the initial pecking order and then we'll figure it out in training camp. They're just going based off what he's said in the past this year. So if it could be either Kirk Cousins or Aaron Rodgers, probably. And, you just got to bite the bullet on this year and hope everyone else develops around them and the team wins a couple more games. And,
whenever I'm sure it will work when we drop the next quarterback in next season with the guys that did all the work this year, according to the progression of Aaron Rodgers, and then bring in another guy. Mike, I listen, we'll go through the motions. We'll do the dance. But I'm going to tell. I mean, I'll tell you all season how it's going to play out, and we know how it's going. This team, what is it, Mike? And let's ask maybe some of the people on the board that are polling for Aaron. What's the big thing about Aaron Rodgers that we love so much? Again, there's other answers. There's other ways to do this. Aaron Rodgers is the name, of course.
Yeah,
everyone recognizes. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they want another Hall of Famer to lose in Pittsburgh. Because we did have the only 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks that ever started here won Super Bowls. Let's go for the next 2. Not having Super Bowls with Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers. Maybe we're just starting a new trend. We're starting a trend of not doing the smartest things ever and putting out bad results opposed to putting out good results for decades and decades and decades. I don't know. Call me crazy. Tortilla says willpower Howard, baby. Again, I'm not saying he's the answer, but I'm saying that Aaron Rodgers is certainly not the answer. Corey Beaver says, what if we had the first round potential grade on him, but a 6th grade? But again, I mean, come on. What about Brock Purdy? We were talking him up all 2 years ago, Mike. He was a Mr. Irrelevant. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to say. It's hard to say with quarterbacks. And that's the answer, Mike. It's not easy because everybody would have their guy.
Exactly.
If this was easy.
Yeah. And, I'm not discounting Will Howard, but I'm just saying, let's, cool the enthusiasm a little bit for him.
Absolutely.
But, put him out there. He's going to see a lot of action in the preseason.
And they're down now 2 games, 3 games. I mean, preseason is nothing anymore.
3 games. He's going to see. He's going to play the entire second half of every.
He's going to play a lot of backups, games. And you're not going to get any assessment on him because playing starters is going to still be unknown to you. So again, we're still not going to be any further along about knowing about this young quarterback, which again, the quarterback is the issue here in Pittsburgh. We should be.
Yeah, but that's your rookie quarterback's going to go that late. He's going to go out there against those guys, and that's going to give you some stuff like, okay, how is he running the plays? How well does he know my playbook? How well is he anticipating it at a different level? Yeah, these are backups, but these are still a whole lot better people than he's going to see game in, game out, or that he saw game in, game out in college. So that's the next step of that evolution and process. So we'll find out.
A lot of them are undrafted guys. A lot of them are guys that couldn't even get drafted by the NFL will be seen in the second half of these football games. Guys that aren't going to be on NFL fields next year, where he's going to be on an NFL team for quite a few years at least. Through his rookie contract, we do know that for sure. Let's get back to some of these messages, Mike. Corey says, I'm so impartial to AR being here that it makes me sick. I don't care. I see the argument for both, but I'm just tired of me too. Me too. And like I said, every day like today that comes along that I think common sense tells you that something we should be going a certain way. It just makes you more sick because again, here we are. OTA start today, guys. They'll be done next week. That means the next for us, the next thing is going to be a mini camp, I think, in next month, sometime in June, and then camp in the end of July, guys. So we don't exactly have a whole lot of time here. Tortilla says, I think the best thing about Rodgers is his arm and his intangibles. He can still see what the defense. That is the only thing I like about Aaron Rodgers is what he can see from behind his eyes. That's the only advantage I can see to having Aaron Rodgers here for the Pittsburgh Steelers is his ability to do what he could do pre-snap. That is the only advantage I think we have. Again, can he flip the ball around? And yeah, he's 42, but I don't know. Again, we let Ben go for a reason, and even New England let the GOAT go.
Yeah.
After a certain point of his career. Tortilla then goes on to say, been saying all off season, do not sleep on Aaron Rodgers, DK quick slants. If that's the case, listen, if they could come out and do that, and they could become a video game, and do something amazing every time it's an AR2 DK slant, I might be a little bit more into. But guys, this thing it has stink written all over it. It has garbage written all over this thing. To me, at least, guys. Mark Malone says we're going to have an insanely good offense this year, whether it's Rodgers, Rudolph, or Howard, Q being the MRF. I hope you're right, brother. Believe me, I'm not the one that wants to see things go awry to see the rise out of people like Mike. I actually want to win. Mike wants to see people get a rise. That's I will be here celebrating with you, Mark. Believe me. RB says the media is an effing joke. All these BS reporters. Obviously, Rodgers is coming. The whole team wouldn't have done nothing. You're right. If he don't want to do any of the offseason stuff, the team don't want to explain it away. And then he follows it up by saying Tomlin and Rooney are dumb, but not this dumb. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Tortilla says, I heard somewhere that Rodgers was a huge advocate for not showing up until August 1st. I wouldn't be surprised if he waits until then. That's what I'm saying. Look, to me, looking, is a pervasive issue. Looking from the outside, it just makes us look weak. It makes us, come on, we were once a great organization. Now people are saying, the new Rooney's not as good as the old Rooney. Oh, this and that. They haven't won a playoff game in 8 years. They haven't left less than 40 points in the playoff game in 8 years. They haven't been on a good run in 15 years. We look weak. And now we're going to sit around and hope and pray that this 42-year-old once great quarterback comes and saves our day. It seems weak. I don't want to be a part. That's not what I want to be a part of. RB says Rodgers is still at 41 or whatever is the best passer we've had in 10 years. Big difference in passer and a thrower. And Jen says, Mike, you can always get a rise out of me. So this is where we be, guys. And I'm seeing it come to a head with a lot of comments. And it's interesting. And again, it's only pissing me off for these reasons, because if the venom knows it's going to happen, if the team knows it's going to happen, if Aaron Rodgers knows it's going to happen, why are the fans, the ones that keep this thing going? Well, let's be honest. The backbone of the organization, the people that put money in put asses in seats and money in millionaires' pockets. Keep it from us. Why not? It's OTAs. We don't care if we have a quarterback. And we might have a rookie who might be good. We might have a backup who might be okay. He won 3 games when it came down to it. But again, here we are as fans. How the hell am I supposed to be excited about this? Go ahead, Mike. I seen you were getting ready to say something.
Shit, I forgot what I was going to say. Hey, if we want to go younger than Aaron Rodgers, we can go Kirk Cousins. He's only 36.
Yeah, and Carson Wentz. Come on, this guy is.
There we go.
RB says the media makes us look weak, coaching makes us look weak, ownership makes us look weak, not letting a quarterback skip OTAs. Tortilla says Art Rooney is not Dan Rooney. Sadly, I still have hope for Art, but it's not the same. Corey says I could do a real-time reboot of Billy Madison before he resigns. I'm sorry. And John says the Steelers dynasty was in the same. And no two ways about it, John. But you know what? 05 through 011 wasn't a bad run either. I'll take some Super Bowls. I do want to say good afternoon, John. Welcome. I hope you had a great Memorial Day. Everyone else as well who is and was involved in the military. Same respect to you as well. RB says, I don't mean to hate, but our base is as large is ignorant to football and believe any BS that any jagoff prints on social media or website. You're right. Most people are. And maybe those are a lot of those people are the people that want Rodgers. Again, I want to start getting this team focused on football. I want to start hearing about the X's and O's. I want this team to start talking about potentially what we're going to do this year. The only thing we know is we may or we may not have Aaron Rodgers. That's the only definite we have. Is this no answer is the only answer we have. I want to hear some more about these rookies. How'd the rookies look in rookie camp? I want to know if Broderick Jones is going to be able to step up and play his position. I want to know if Slay is going to come in and make this a decent secondary, having Slay and Porter. Come on, Slay just won a Super Bowl. What about the guys we do have? But we're going to worry about Aaron, a guy that don't even want to be here. He's not here. That's what tells me he doesn't want to be. Listen, if you want to be somewhere, you'll be there. This dude doesn't want to be here. If he wanted to be here today, if he wanted to be involved in OTAs, he'd be here. Oh, he's 42. You got to no, fuck that shit. He's still human. He's not as good as good quarterbacks now in the league. He's old. I would rather have a young quarterback who's good than a guy, again, over the hill. He's not Brady. He didn't win 7 Super Bowls. He's good, but still, he didn't even win as many Super Bowls as our quarterback, Big Ben Roethlisberger. So there you go. Do what you want with that. On the board, RB says, did you see the OTA meeting video? I did not. RB. Corey says, the reason I know he's going to be here is because if we didn't think he was going, we would have Dart, and he knows he isn't coming till June. But again, why the big secret from us? Can't you let us get a little excited? Doesn't that mean anything to the team? What about the fans, the people that, the market, the people that spend their money on our product? Just my opinion. It's getting a little late in the game. It's June in a couple days, guys. In June. That's right. We start camp in July. RB says Tomlin has a guy talking to the team about getting blowjobs from behind by Instagram models and playing on 4 teams in a season from it. Not anything relevant. That's why we don't win shit. I didn't see that, RB. I'll have to check that out. Yinja Joe, maybe Rodgers wants to take a look at the offense behind the curtain. I think that's the last thing I want him to do is actually see what's going on here. Maybe that's what it is. RB also says any moron should know not to be chasing hoes, and if they don't, they shouldn't be on the team. Yeah. So there you go, guys. Mike, what do you got to say about all that?
I'm ready for whoever the quarterback is. I don't care either way. Like, this year for me is a wash. If we win, awesome. If we don't, not, I'm okay too, because I see how long it's going to take for this team to actually be competitive. When I say competitive, I mean to win a Super Bowl. So yeah, it's going to be a while. If Aaron's here, all right, cool. We'll run with it and see how that experiment goes. If not, all right, run it with Mason Rudolph, and if he starts sucking halfway through, put in Will Howard and see if he has anything. See if he has the potential to be a starter, or just going to be your nice number 2 backup, and run it that way. I like either way. I don't care. I'll be entertained either way. I really don't care. Like, outside perspective, if people are like, the Steelers look dumb weak, I don't give a fuck what teams people think about the Steelers. You're the kind of person, as long as we go and win.
You're generally the kind of person that cares what people think, and that's what kind of throws me
off.
But
not about my team, though. Like, never about my teams either. Like
when I say bad things about Penn State, you yell at me.
Yeah, that's different. That's college.
Okay, I
Yeah.
just wanted.
Oh, dude, I have a dude. Like you see me like watch Steeler games.
I'm just trying to
like I
figure it
get
all
like
out,
I
man.
get no. But that's just fun though. Fucking with a Pitt fan, Penn State fan, that's fun. But no, like when it comes to like when people want to shit on the Steelers, like I don't. It doesn't like okay. Did we win or not? Okay, cool. We won. We
See,
lost. We lost. But we're like, oh,
yeah,
the Steelers look dumb and weak. I don't
people
give
are
a fuck how
proud.
they look until the end of the year.
People are
Like
proud
this,
of their team. Like, I mean, again, people invest their hard-earned
yeah,
money into this hobby, and people are proud of it. And
yeah,
they feel silly because people in other cities who we try to talk shit about
yeah,
their team. It's just making us look silly, Mike. And again, whether you care, whether you don't, it is what it
yeah.
is. And right now we're looking a lot like more like the Pirates, and than a team that from where I think that people in this part of the country would like our team to look. But what are you gonna do, man? It's not in our hands. It's not in
No,
our hands.
and that's the frustrating part. You're having no control over the situation,
Oh, you really do.
and that's just like the worst part of being the fan. Is like you have no say, no control whatsoever.
You have all the control. You have the money, but are you willing to take that big of a dive to do you care this much that you're not going to go to games and buy product and merchandise, things like this? Ultimately, you do ultimately have the power, but again, I don't think we're that far. The Pirates are that far.
Yeah.
People need to stop going to those games. They're only making things worse by continuing to go. Let's see. Tortilla says, whatever happened to getting a BJ in the tunnel at halftime? These Instagram models screwing up the game. Fucking models. Or B says, the problem is why? Why should anyone give a shit when Art doesn't give a shit? I don't get why people keep spending money on this shit. I mean, I'm a fan, but I won't spend a dime. So Art and Mike are gone. Mike, apparently McFadden. Remember our what was his first name? Brian McFadden.
Brian McFadden.
Brian McFadden came out over the weekend, Mike, and says he doesn't even see a big gap between Rudolph and Rodgers at this point.
Hey, you never know.
The guy played the game. He knows football. The guy played. He played against Rodgers.
You would hope he knows football.
I mean, these guys know what they're doing. They know enough. They've been around the game a lot. They've been in the locker room a lot more than we have.
But I know the guys we've had on the show know what they were talking about.
Oh, of course, because they were Steelers.
Yeah. I don't know. I got in a little Twitter feud last night with Trey Essex. So
You know what? I just ignore him anymore. Well, listen. I probably know the message you're referring to.
Yeah.
I thought it was an interesting message, but you usually do have it out with Trey Essex, which is kind of funny.
There's some stuff I agree with him too, and I'll even tell him that. But sometimes though, it's like, come on, dude, you're like a former pro. Like if you can't see the forest through the trees, come on now, you're just being clickbaity and rage bait.
He's being clickbaity. I've noticed his text.
Yeah, he likes a lot of engagement. Which
he likes, yes.
Okay, but be intellectually honest. Don't be dishonest. That's the only thing I hate.
Same with Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers organization. Just be honest. That's all.
Yeah.
Just be honest. We do have to move on, though. Jen says, we have OTAs. That's right, baby. This week, 27th through the 29th. And then next week, 3rd through the 5th. Then after that, it's Steelers. I forget what it is. Oh, I know what it is. On June 10th through 12th is mandatory mini camp. So after next week, after Aaron doesn't show up for next week, we'll be talking about, will he be here by the 10th or the 12th? And then we'll be like, will he be here by camp in the end of July? Will he be here by week 1 of the preseason? Will he be here by kickoff? F that. Again, if he comes, there's nothing I could do. I'm going to support my team. But right now, I've certainly fallen off the Rodgers wagon, Mike. And again, I wasn't really ever on securely. I was riding with no seatbelt.
Yeah.
But I've officially fallen off the wagon of the Aaron Rodgers situation. I'm through with it because today was my personal deadline. And again, for the venom being spewed, Mike, this is now about three weeks.
Yes,
double the time of when the venom, the media here in Pittsburgh that has the resources and all the answers came out and said, you know what, I guarantee Aaron will be on this team in the next 7 to 10 days. I'm like, we're at about 3 weeks now on that timeline. But the same source that he did spew over the weekend, Mike, that he heard ramblings that A12 Aaron Rodgers does want to call his own plays, which I figured was probably going to be the case. And you know
Well,
what? I
he-
wouldn't even be against that. If it came down to Artie Smith and Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah.
sometimes, maybe more than half of the times, I would probably be more confident with Aaron Rodgers calling off of what he sees out there opposed to what Aaron Rodgers
I think that's
call it.
like, for me, that's like Aaron Rodgers calling his own plays would be that right there, having the freedom to audible at the line of, hey, this is what I see. These are the personnel groupings I have out here. Okay, this play is going to work better than this. That I would give him that option. You know, kind of like how Ben had the free reign to do what he needed to do.
Right.
You have to trust quarterbacks,
I trust
especially veterans like I
absolutely.
trust him. I trust him more than I
don't want him here, but I trust.
Right. But the ability wasn't there. You know, he was limited what he could do last year. But I would trust I'd trust Aaron Rodgers to go out there and read the defense and make that pre-snap adjustment for what I need. You know, sometimes the defense disguises it well as it doesn't work, but you got to realize it's a chess match out there. So you're going to win some, lose some, as long as you win enough to win the game at the end. Fuck yeah, let him do his thing. And real quick, I was looking at some videos from OTA.
Yeah.
I've lost faith in Mason Rudolph. He just has the mustache.
Mike, he won 3 games in a row. What are you talking about?
He shaved off the goatee.
He won 3 games in a row.
I know,
man.
But those 3 games plus the full goatee, now it's just 3 games in the mustache. I'm losing a little confidence. He lost some aura. He lost a little swag.
I like the goatee look. I like the goatee look as well. Whenever he came
I did
back.
too, and I'm trying to find out if TJ Watt is at OTAs.
Everybody's gonna complain about that one. If he's not, Mike, if he's not there, he's oh boy, would that be a big story. But
these are just voluntary, but
but it's still
man, you might want to show
just if you fine with Aaron Rodgers being at the concert in Arizona over the weekend.
Yeah, so we're gonna see if TJ Watt shows up. I haven't heard reports either way. I'm trying to check some video as we go. I haven't seen him.
I don't know if it was in Arizona. I just said that, but he was at a concert.
Yeah.
What I'm referring to, Mike. Let's move on. You know what? Let's grab a couple of these messages.
Yeah.
Let's go right here. Blowjobs. OTAs and blowjobs. Okay. Tortilla says, I like McFadden. He has some good takes. Who was the other one? Oh, Artie Burns. Why do I always get him and Artie Burns mixed up?
God, don't. Brian McFadden's a Super Bowl winner. Artie Burns is a poor Artie.
Still Artie.
Okay,
here we go. RB says, ever notice all these players who are brainwashed by Big Homie Mike? You know what? That's actually an interesting take. Everybody's so excited to play for Mike Tomlin, but that doesn't equal great play on the field. I think a lot of people just assume that, hey, this dude really wants to play for this coach. He's going to play well. It doesn't always equal that, unfortunately. Tortilla says, better than Ryan Clark. Love Ryan, but the CTE is getting to him. If anybody should have CTE, I just seen some video on him the other day. My boy, was he a hitter?
Fuck. Dude, he just didn't give a fuck. No. He literally did not give a fuck. He put his body on the line for the black and gold.
I loved it. I love every Ryan
week.
Clark.
And because of him and James Harrison, we got the rules we have now. But my God, they just didn't give a fuck.
He is a great safety, Mike, for this Pittsburgh Steelers team. And people, I mean, obviously you're going to say Polamalu, but you talk
he
great
allowed
safeties.
Troy to do so much.
When you talk about great safeties, I think Ryan Clark should be up there as well. Not above Troy Polamalu, but again, you're talking great safeties in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Ryan Clark should always be mentioned.
Yeah, because him and Troy had that unspoken bond. It is out there. They just give each other a look. They knew, okay, Troy, I know you're going to do this, and I got your back. Go do your thing. I'll cover you on the back end, and it worked perfectly. It's kind of like Minkah Fitzpatrick and Edmonds had that for a while, where Minkah was flying around, Edmonds would clean up on some stuff. But yeah, Ryan Clark didn't care. He did not care who you were. I loved it.
Corey says, weren't there reports a while back about Ben getting in trouble for calling his own plays, but they worked? He just got in trouble for being defiant. Yeah,
not that I probably Matt Canada saying he's in trouble for changing my plays.
I don't know, but Corey says Clark was inches away from death after a game in Denver because of his sickle cell, and then tried to play there again a month later. You know
I
what? Though
remember that.
we won. We did all right.
We
Okay.
we would we would have won. We wouldn't have lost that playoff game if he was able to play in Denver. He wouldn't have loved that. Hmm.
Was that in Denver?
That was in Denver. He beat Ike Taylor and Troy
Yeah.
on a fucking slant. Demarius Thomas.
Tim Tebow beat us.
Yeah.
Tim Tebow.
I was out at the bar and I looked up and I saw that. It's like,
That was
is
the
this
worst
really-
part. The guy had like 9 yards. He was such a bizarre player, that Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he wasn't a Pittsburgh Steeler, but just his bizarreness
Like,
and what he brings. Because
Yeah.
again, remember he had like 12 touchdowns, but they were all in these bizarre ways. And Tebow was
he was the precursor for Kenny Pickett. Like, you're playing so bad and then win.
It was different though. Kenny at the end of the game was able to drive the ball down the field. Tebow was still very bizarre.
Yeah.
And again, he was left, and it just looked funny. And there was just something about Tebow. That whole experiment. I feel bad, Mike, for teams that drafted him, because again, they still to this day say he's one of the best players ever to come out of college. Just turned into such a disaster in the NFL level, unfortunately. That's Tomlin who gets mad at losing control. A few more things, Mike. In the NFL, the Lions. Remember the last week the meeting about the rule changes in the NFL went down.
Yeah.
Get this: the Lions. You know, they're a tough-nosed team. Campbell, the whole thing. They're getting tough up there. They're getting better. The Lions are the only team that plays Philly this upcoming season that voted against the tush-push ban. Every other team on their schedule voted to have it banned. The Lions said, F that. We will take on the Philadelphia Eagles, because I like the tough mindset of the Lions, Mike. They're the only team on the schedule that didn't vote to ban that move.
And the thing is, though, too, with the Lions, they also wanted to have to where just because you win a division doesn't mean you get the first round bye, or it doesn't mean you automatically get in, because how they finished in the North too. So they kind of, for me, they showed some toughness, but they also showed some bitchiness.
I think that has nothing to do with toughness. I think that has to do with a question that the people may have been bringing up for a lot of years, Mike, even myself and you. If a team has 6 wins and wins a division, let's say you go 6 and 11, and you win your division.
Yeah, you get the home game. You won.
No, listen, I agree with you. There's no argument here. I think that, but still, I mean, come on, a 6-12 team is never going to win a Super Bowl. A 6-12 team has never had an opportunity because you don't even qualify for the playoffs. I understand the frustration with that particular situation, and I've said it many times. Like those teams that win the NFC South are terrible.
Terrible, but hey, they won their division, baby. Not their fault.
No, you're right. And again,
my thing with,
I think that I don't know if it has anything to do with being a tough-minded team in the whole tush push. But again, I do see where it's kind of stupid
for me. For me,
you got to put them in the playoffs, even if you get 6 wins. I mean, you won the division.
For me, kind of puts it equal, or it canceled each other out. For the Lions, their bitchiness and their toughness. This is an argument
that everybody makes, Mike. Come on, a team that's terrible, but they're not going to be not taking. Yeah. They're not going to be not in the playoffs.
Hey, I mean, two 6 seeds have won the Super Bowl.
You're right. 2 6 seeds out of probably 120, I think, right around there. 2 of them.
Hey, we were one of them, so you know what? Fuck it, change the rules. Well, fuck them.
What else? Do you want, Mike, real quick before we start to wrap things up? Do you want to hear the list of the top? What was it last week? We did top something. Was it top cornerbacks? Well, I have another list, Mike, of top cornerbacks that I did pull out. I thought it was interesting, and we'll see if you wanted to go over this real quick, Mike. Top of the list, Darrelle Revis on this list. Mike, this is top cornerbacks in NFL history. Darrelle Revis, number 2, Deion Sanders. Number 3, Champ Bailey. Number 4, Charles Woodson. Number 5, Rod Woodson. Number 6, Night Train Lane out of Detroit. Number 7, Ty Law. Number 8, Richard Sherman. 9, Stephon Gilmore. 10, Mike Haynes. I feel that this list is really irrelevant. The only reason I bring this up, Mike, is because 2 guys from Aliquippa right here across the river. 2 guys in the top 10 of best cornerbacks ever in NFL history, Mike. On any list, that's impressive. Two guys, same town, right here, just 20 minutes outside of Pittsburgh, Aliquippa. Mike, these guys, and then you throw Rod Woodson, a guy that did play on the Steelers. That's 3 out of 10, Mike, of, again, potential top best 10 cornerbacks ever right here. 2 of them from Pittsburgh. 1 of them played for Pittsburgh. I like this list.
I like it for that, but I don't like it for one. Rod Woodson at 5. Get your head out your ass. He's a lot higher. And where the fuck is Mel Blount? They changed the rules of the NFL because this guy was too damn dominant and physical. And then he went on and even had a better career when they changed the rules to stop him.
Well, they changed the rules for Ryan Clark and James Harrison, but they're not on the best ever list, right?
They're not in the Hall of Fame.
Yet. James Harrison
yet
should be there. Ryan Clark won't be. But
Mel Blount, I do not. I can't.
Didn't James Harrison take a Super Bowl interception 100 yards with the best play ever in the all right, just beside the point.
But beside the point, I do like, Revis and up there. Yes, that's awesome. But
how can you not playing for a terrible team and being the best ever? I think really says something about you.
Yeah, dude was just a freak.
Same with Ty Law had a little bit different. He was ass backwards. He started in New England, then went elsewhere. But Darrelle Revis started elsewhere and then went to New England and won a Super Bowl. So they kind of had a similar career, being from the same high school. It's interesting anyway, I think. Mike, let me grab a couple more of these messages. RB says, Ike got so much heat for that shit. We're talking probably about the Denver game. I got so much heat for that shit because Troy gambled wrong, and in people's eyes, it was everyone else's fault. If I could catch, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, if I could catch, he would be a Hall of Famer. He was just as good as, maybe a step behind, like Darrelle Revis in his coverage ability. He was a freak. He shut down all the big names in his time too, but he couldn't catch. He couldn't catch.
No,
couldn't catch.
It's up for interpretation. RB also goes on to say any list without Dick LeBeau is shit. 8th all time in interceptions when no one threw the ball. When quarterbacks couldn't really throw the ball well, when he got a lot of picks. That was pretty.
Dude,
I
think he still has more interceptions than Rod Woodson.
I think he definitely has more interceptions than Ike Taylor.
Oh, like I probably have more interceptions than Ike Taylor.
Oh, his hands were so frustrating. So frustrating.
Like, dude.
Remember how many times he could have pick sixes and the ball fell out of his hand? You're thinking that could have been 6.
Yeah. Like, Ike. Ike Taylor.
Ike. Ike, Mike, why don't you go and tell everybody about the website?
The2dumbyinzers.com. Not only do we have the merch store over there, we got the dumb thoughts over there, and I just finished one today.
What's going on with your blog, Mike? I got on the other day to read your new blog, and I thought, geez, this hasn't been changed for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it is today.
Okay.
Today with OTA, there's 7 players on there. We're taking a look at who those 7 should have some pretty good years this year. These are 7 of the guys I'm looking at to take a big leap forward. That the team needs to take a big leap forward. So check it out at the2dumbyinzers.com.
Go check it out, everybody. www.the2dumbyinzers.com. www.the2dumbyinzers.com. Yeah, Mike.
Yeah. I was going to say, don't mind some of the formatting on there. There's nothing I can do to fix some of the charts that I had up there.
All right. I can't wait to check it out.
I'm sorry, everyone, for when you get to that portion of it. I do apologize because it will look great. And then I hit submit and it looked like shit.
I think people will be happy to see it, Mike. I went in to read the new article yesterday, and I read the May 8th article yet again. But there you go, everybody. Go check it out. Right. Mike got new work up today.
You can't rush brilliance.
www.the2dumbyinzers.com. Mike, today's question is going to be, it's a random one. It's about something we talked about today, but it's kind of random. It has something to do with what went down over the weekend. I agree, RB. He's just that guy. You hope that he could make a small play here, a small play there when he's called on. But I hope that he Connor Hayward is what he's saying. I hope Connor Hayward is finally let go.
He had a couple plays like his rookie year, and then it's like,
Mike, the best case scenario for him would be on the team with his brother, giving an opportunity to make a play or two every now and then. To me, that's what Connor Hayward is.
Yeah, they throw him out there every once in a while on special teams. You see him, but Yeah, he gots to go. We got 5,000 tight ends now. One of them can do what he can do.
We're setting records here. We have no quarterbacks
Yeah.
and 1,000 tight ends. I'm lying. We have 3 quarterbacks, but here's the question of the day, guys. Here we go. Team USA beat Switzerland 2-1 to win the IIHF World Championship this weekend, winning it all for the first time in 92 years, Mike. In 1933, they beat this team 2-1 to win it, and that is the last championship that they had. Take a minute to think that over. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day right here on YouTube. All right, question of the day, guys. Put on your thinking caps, everybody on the board, everybody at home. Mike, Team USA beat Switzerland over the weekend 2-1 to win the IIHF World Championship, winning it for the first time in 92 years. By doing this, who did they beat in 1933 by the score of 2-1? Mike, you look somewhat confident. You're not sweating. You're not twitching or shuffling around. I think that you look like you might have it. So give just an extra minute or so on the board to see if anybody does want to participate and tell us who it was. The USA World Championship team was the last time that Team USA got it done back in 1933. 1933. A lot of great things happened that year. The Steelers established, of course, the 1933 USA hockey team. Great time to be alive as far as Pittsburgh sports go. Everything else, not too sure about. On the board, though, Richard is saying Finland. RB is saying Italy. Ginger Joe, I do believe Patterson is going to be gone. Mike, I think we talked a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think he might be done. Right now he's running back 4 on the list.
Yeah. When they brought in that dude the other week, I thut that's the end of Cordell.
Yeah, they brought in Trey Sermon in.
And he's not exactly young either. I mean, people.
No, he's had a hell of a career as a returner up until this point, but yeah.
And he did well. Mike, he was serviceable when we called him.
He was, too. Like, he had flashes early on. You're like, oh, this is good. Then he had that big fumble, and then he just never saw him again. And when he did, it wasn't pretty.
All right, guys. So on the board, we do have Italy. We have Finland. Again, the question of the day, because the Team USA did win the World Championship over the weekend, guys. Team USA beat Switzerland 2-1 to win the IIHF World Championship. Who was the last team that they beat, which was 92 years ago, 1933? Finland on the board, Italy on the board. Mike, who was it?
I want to say the Soviet Union, but were they even playing hockey back then? They had like famines and revolutions and wars going on. So I'm going to go Sweden.
Sweden. All right. So you say Sweden, Mike. Finland, Richard says. Italy, RB. Mike, is this your final answer? Sweden.
Final answer.
All right. I'm locking you in. Mike, you were locked into place, as is Richard and RB. Guys, question of the day. The Team USA beat Switzerland 2-1 over the weekend to win the IIHF World Championship, winning it for the first time in 92 years. I'm looking, guys, for who they beat in 1933, 92 years ago. 2-1. Richard saying Finland, RB saying Italy. Mike says Sweden. Guys, of course, the final answer to this question, the last team that Team USA beat in 1933, they won by a 2-1 score over nobody other than Canada, guys. Canada.
Oh, no shit.
How does
the obvious answer right there?
Right. How do you not pick Canada in this kind of question? I think that's just my automatic answer, no matter what's going on when you talk world hockey stage. But guys, it was Canada that USA beat in 1933.
I was like, that couldn't be Canada.
It's too easy.
Someone else,
right?
Yeah. Back then, every fucking player in the NHL was a Canadian,
right? My couple things I do want to say before we go. I was listening to, I don't know if Finch is on the board still, but I was listening to Friday's Gooner episode. Wow, what a clown show they had going on over there. The usual cast wasn't in. Tim and Ryan were not there. It was the Finch and Derpy show, Hollywood Derpy. I broke it up into 3 categories. What they did was they talked about the best nicknames the best nicknames in sports throughout history. And the first third of the show was Derpy talking over Finch. It was Derpy talking over Finch. I don't know how many times, and I was going to go on last night and write these numbers down. Maybe I'll do that tonight for the show tomorrow. But Finch, he literally talked over Finch the whole entire first third of the show. The second third of the show, they were talking about the best nicknames ever. And it came down to Magic Johnson being number one, and Derpy didn't like it.
Like, how can you not like that name? Magic Johnson.
The guy literally has a Magic Johnson. Come on. He got AIDS 40 years ago, and he still looks healthier than all of us.
Right?
That is the perfect nickname for that guy's Johnson, at least. And finally, Mike, in the third of the show, I broke it down into
this might be my favorite part.
Into clown sections. The third part, Derpy kept falling asleep. Finch was talking to him, and one time Derpy was snoring. Another time, he was literally mid-sentence talking to Finch, and you heard some clicking and moving, and once he stopped talking, Finch replied, and then when it was time for Derpy to talk back, there was nothing. And Finch was like, Derpy, are you still there? And he wasn't, and like a minute went by, and Derpy finally came back in. So go check out the show from Friday if you missed it. I think they had some technical issues. I wasn't able to put any messages. I think there was some kind of issue going on throughout the show, but go check it out. Go watch the Three Gooners show from Friday night. A lot of fun parts. Again, Derpy was over there helping Finch out, and again, nothing short of a clown show. So go, just go check that. And there's a lot more. Believe me, I could go on and on, but I don't want to talk about their whole entire show. In case anybody still wants to go back and check these things out. But again, I broke it down in 3 thirds, Mike, and again, each third was as crazy as the next. Check it out from Friday. Derpy and Finch on the Three Gooners, right here on our Two Dumb Yinzer network.
It was a good show, but my God, man, when Derpy's in full Derpy mode, look out, because the talking over, he used to do that shit to me all the time.
It seemed like every time Finch talked to that first half hour, Derpy just right over him. I thought, what are you doing?
Finch was doing the Lord's work though, doing an hour show with Derpy.
They went an hour and a half.
Hour and a half. That's hard work. I did 3 hours with Derpy.
Derpy hated Magic Johnson.
How can you hate that? It's a great nickname. Like you said, it works on so many levels.
People don't have nicknames that work like this.
No.
I mean, come
on.
He
was Magic on the court, and now he's Magic off the court.
And other interesting other interesting takes on nicknames as well. Do check it out, guys. Fun. It was fun to say the least. But go check that out again. Three Gooners from Friday night. Always fun time over there. Can't wait to see Tim and Ryan get back in the action. I miss seeing the crew. Because last week they weren't on, Mike, and then this week they were, but 2 of the 3 weren't there. So it'd be nice to see the crew back together. I'm waiting and anxiously chomping at the bit. I do enjoy that show. What else do I got here, Mike? I think that's it. Anything from you? You have anything before you're ready to take off for the day?
No, just that, Mason Rudolph shaved the goatee. Now it's just the porn stash.
You're really caught up on this.
I am too. It's throwing me off. I finally got used to him with the evil era, the mirror universe goatee, and then he changes it up on me. I don't like change. I don't like this.
All right.
I was starting to, pull into like the 4,000 yards, 32 touchdowns vibe that Mark Malone was putting off with Mason with that look. Now we might have to cut those numbers in half.
What possesses people that ever go with the just mustache look?
I don't know. Like, I've shaved down to just the goatee. I can't do just the mustache.
I've never even done it. Just you know what I mean. When you're shaving and you leave that after you shave everything, I've never even done that. No, I'm horrified to see what I look like.
Me too.
With my face exposed, it's not a good thing. Believe me.
I don't know. I do have to do the handlebar mustache.
Yeah,
and just get my skullet wig going, and we'll be good.
Yeah, you do got to get that skullet going. We do have a lot of big plans for that.
Oh yeah, we do
this summer, guys. So
I can't wait.
Stay tuned for that. I do want to say thank you everybody for coming and hanging out and checking us out today. We certainly appreciate each and every one of you. We truly, honestly do. We wouldn't do it without you. Thank you so much. I want to say thank you to everybody on the board as well, guys. You always keep things interesting here on the show. Greatly appreciated as always. And everybody at home, whether you be at home, at the gym, at school, maybe at work, in the car, wherever you may be, we thank you as well. Thank you so much. Mike, we'll be back tomorrow for the big episode 750. We're not going to do any celebration or anything crazy like that. It's just we're just going to acknowledge that it is 3/4 of the way to 1,000. Mike, we'll be at 1,000 before you know it. It seems like we were just at 500. It seemed like we were just at 250. It seems like we were just at 100. So it won't be long, guys, till the big 1,000 comes later. It'll be at some point, like the 750 tomorrow. Hope to see everybody back then. Have a lot of stuff going on, Mike. The Pirates again back at it tonight. They're in game 2 at Arizona. That game's at 9:40. Late game out on the near the West Coast there. And again, Mike, the women, the Riveters, they take on the Cleveland Force today. A rematch from last week's game that ended in a 0-0 draw. That game is today at 7:00 p.m. Just looking down my list here. And, of course, you do have your NBA Finals and your NHL Finals. The Knicks and Pacers play Game 4 tonight at 8:00. And then also the Oilers host the Stars also at 8:00 in the NHL. So we'll be talking about all that stuff and much, much more tomorrow, along with all the Steelers scoop that comes up. We'll catch it. Everything that comes through, we'll catch it, Mike. And even if we have to dig and scrape and everything else to find the information, we will certainly do just that to make sure to get it out to everybody. We do appreciate you, and we can't wait to see everybody back tomorrow. Mike, one more time. Speak now or forever hold your peace, huh?
Check out the2dumbyinjers.com.
Canada seemed like too easy of an answer. Yinzer Joe, that's exactly why I went with that. That is exactly why I went with that trivia question, because I figured that Canada would seem too easy.
Sneaky bastard.
You sneaky bastard. Everybody enjoyed the show today. Take a moment to hit the like button, subscribe, share, all that kind of fun stuff. You could always go to any of our social media all across the board: Facebook, Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter, Threads, yada, 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 etc., etc., etc. Go check it out, everybody. And we'll be back tomorrow. First thing to do it all over again at our regular time. We hope everybody had a great day. We hope everybody has a great one today. Maybe a lot of people getting back to work, so maybe try to get back in the swing. We'll be back tomorrow. Do it all over again. For Mike in the Steeler Central Mobile Studio, myself, the 2 Dumb Yinzers. Everybody have a great Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.